Well, it was supposed to be start of spring. It's more like the start of winter. Clean my lens there. Yeah, look at it. What is it? 25th of March. Spring started 5 days ago. I'm looking forward to this weekend. And it's absolutely chucking it down. So it's jobs inside. And we're going to go collect a load of logs today that a friend of mine chopped down. They're in a field, so it'll be muddy as hell, so I'm not going to do that. Unless it finds up this afternoon. Or I might go tomorrow. If I can get my son out of bed, she's going to have to give me a hand. So it looks like jobs in the garage, which is never a bad thing. Right, if we can't play outside, we'll play in here instead. You can probably still hear the rain pattering down on my garage roof. Do you know what? I bet there's people watching that can't even remember these being a thing. I used to supply these things to, I used to supply furniture and televisions and cookers and fridges and stuff to, what shall I say, those people at the markers, and basically I'd refurnish the flats for them. And we used to give them these tellies because the flat screen tellies that are coming now, they were too good and they used to sell them. They used to sell them for, I won't go into detail. So we used to have to supply these tellies because nobody wanted them. But then they became thin on the ground. And then when they were knackered or damaged, I used to take them out and replace them with another one. But I used to bring the old ones home and I'd strip them down because there's some. I used to think, well, let's have a look what's inside. There might be some useful stuff. And I did get some quite useful stuff out of them. This is an old VHS recorder as well. I thought I could bring it home and play some of my old VHS tapes, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it's been in the back of the van for 6 months. When I went to get it out yesterday, I picked it up and a load of water dripped out of it. So I've had it sat on the bench all night, and there's a load more water come out, you can just see it there. So I'm not going to risk plugging it in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to strip it down, and then, well, we'll see what's inside it. Push them tabs down there. There we go. $10 should have known. It's a while since I've done one of these, but I think for getting this off, what I found was if you break that glass there, it loses the suction that's inside, because I think it's the suction that's holding this onto that. So if I'm right, that should come off when I break that glass. So just be careful when you're doing this. Put your goggles on. Yeah, it is there. So it actually, when I broke it, it held the glass together until the suction had gone, and then the glass fell apart, and then that just comes straight off. What I'm just going to do is sweep up all that glass that's shattered, so I don't cut myself on it. Just get all the stuff, and I want out of it first.
I'm not saying both things, it's not only romantic but also professional. Definitely not romantic because he is really old enough to be my dad, so that would just be wrong. But no, so no, in that respect, not at all.
Okay, so sort of a quick show and tell now. This is all the scrap that I've got out of it. That's just some more scrap, but that's wires and stuff, so that'll go in my wire bucket, and next time I go to the scrap yard. That's fetching quite good money at the moment. And these are some of the bits that I think are quite interesting, that I think I might like to keep. So what we've got here is a speaker, various screws, some short coach bolts, they always come in handy. 3 amp fuse, I'll put that with my fuses, then I know I've got a fuse for it if it works. A bit of aluminium scrap, and that came off it. That's like a paper clip. It'll do as a clip, all that. There's like a rubber sucker there. I don't know what that'll come in for. A little metal bar. There's an on and off switch there. Now I'm no electrician, you know, I don't know much about them, but that might come in handy. So I'm not going to throw it away yet. And then there's some more bits of copper wire there. So I keep this copper wire because it comes in handy for all sorts. This were a bit of a small telly, probably a bit of a cheap one. So it's really thin wire. But sometimes, and I'll just show you some copper wire I got out of a different TV. This one out of a bigger television. This is quite thick stuff, but I use this for all sorts. I've actually used this when I made a pouch for my Stanley knife, and I used copper as the stitching, and that's 10 years ago, and that's still lasted. In fact, I'll go get my pouch and I'll show you. So this is my pouch that I made years ago. It fastens onto my belt. I bet I made this 10 years ago, and if you can just see it there, I used the copper because I didn't have any proper leather thread, or I don't even know what you call it, some cotton. So I used the copper to fold that leather back on itself and stitch it, and that's lasted better. You can tell how long I've had it because it's coming apart. I don't know if you can see there. I've got all the names of my kids and stuff on it. That's me, Brett, Cash, Gypsy, Alfie, Ben. And I've got Tracy on there somewhere, down at the bottom for my wife. Anyway, so I put 2 sides in this. So, right. Spare blades. So I keep my spare blades in that side. This knife's knackered, I need a new one. And then I just keep that. I keep that on me all the time, and that goes through my belt. But I've wore that every day for 10 years basically, and this copper thread has lasted brilliantly. But anyway, I digress. I can't remember where I want now. So yeah, so then them's all the bits that I've got out of it. So as I've been looking at it, I've got an idea of something that I might like to make out of it if it works. This is the part that operated the VHS tape recorder in the bottom of the thing, and it's got this wheel on it there. It's just 3 screws. I've took it off, and what that just spins round. So that's going to come in handy. So I've got an idea for a bit of a use for that. So I don't know that. So I'm going to try and make something out of what I've got here. I've got a bit of an idea, so if you want to watch along, be my guest, or fast forward to the end of the video and you'll see what I made out of it. The bits I'm definitely going to use is the speaker, the spinning turner, whatever that is, the drive for the video recorder. There's a little metal bar with some sort of drive shaft on it there. So I'm going to use, I might use some of the other bits, but I think I'm definitely going to use them. Lovely job. I'm going to cut it off there. The reason I drilled it first before I cut it off is that it's on about a 7 foot length of timber. This, it was just easier to do that, and I could clamp this end down, and then that didn't move about. So now I'll cut it off there, and then I've got a hole in the middle. As I was sanding that piece that I'd cut out, I suddenly thought, oh, I think it'd probably look better as that shape. Basically, I didn't film it. I just chopped it down with the chop saw until I had the shape I liked. I would normally clamp this, but I'm going to screw it because I want to carry on working on it, so I want to do it as fast as possible. I've just had a right good idea. I'm going to tell you all about it. I'll try to, if this isn't central, this ain't going to work properly. So, and I've shaped this now, so I know these sides are straight. So I couldn't measure it and find it. So I'll try to find it in there. But that is an offcut. That's out of the drill I used to drill that out. So that hole's got to be central. So if I put that in there, drill a little hole in it, if I can find the drill bit. Drill a hole in the centre of there, that's got to be the centre. Has it? I'm thinking so. It doesn't look central, but it does in there. Shall I go through this way or this way? I think I better clamp that pallet. Right, so that's my hole in the bottom of that one. So I need to attach, that's the speaker. That fits over there like that. So I need to fasten that to that. So what I'm going to use is some of the black screws that held the back of the telly onto the screen thing. So I want to screw them and use them like wedges against that. Just show you. They should work like wedges. And hold that central. Right, I've attached that to the base. That's an offcut of the centrepiece that came out of that originally. So I'm just putting that in there to lift the bearing up. That on top of the bearing. And then all I'm doing now is just wedging putting a few shims down there, and that'll wedge the bottom piece, keep it solid. Well, after all that messing about, trying to put them shims down there and wedge that in, I suddenly thought, why don't I just wrap some tape, some tape around it? So I've got some, it's got some quite strong double-sided tape here. Trouble is, if it goes wrong, I probably won't be able to get it out. Anyway, gonna try it. And there you have it. I'll show you what I want it for. Well, there you go, everything out of an old TV, even turns. If you like the video, consider a like and a subscribe. Thanks a lot, I'll see you again, bye.